Marlborough's Rai Valley has long been a forestry and dairying community. Now logs and milk are no longer processed locally, but recreational and outdoor education activities based around the Rai and Pelorus rivers are important contributors to the local economy. Peter Hamill is a senior environmental scientist with the Marlborough District Council. He's been involved in a joint effort to improve water quality in the catchment.
It's the third or fourth largest river in the Marlborough area. Flows through quite a large area of farmland and is certainly well known throughout the district. Being right next to the Pelorus Bridge and the Pelorus River, which is a very iconic area in the top of the south, and having the Rai Falls, it's used by quite a number of people. A lot of kayakers and the likes use it as a bit of an exercise and play area. So it gets quite a lot of usage, and it's a very popular fishery as well. It's one of the few rivers in Marlborough that has rainbow trout in it, and so you would get a lot of fishermen through here. 1996 was really when the water quality monitoring program in Marlborough first kicked off. The council put a systematic program in place. We've been monitoring since then, and that's sort of when we started picking up some of the ideas and the data that was showing that the water quality was probably not up to scratch. We put permanent loggers in the waterway, and the results coming through were showing that we were getting daily peaks of nutrients coming through that was kind of very much corresponding with morning and afternoon milkings. So we were finding there was an issue that was related to dairy farming in the catchment. We've been working with farmers since that time. We looked at what are the causes, direct inputs, which we were pretty happy that most landowners were complying with that. And then the next was the stock crossings as the cattle were coming to and from the dairy shed, crossing through the waters, and the majority of them weren't culverted, so the cows were walking through the streams. So we worked with the landowners of coming up with a plan so that we could eliminate those crossings. We also monitor the Rai River as part of our recreational bathing program, and that is right over the summer periods. We monitor on a weekly basis. Throughout the rest of the year we're monitoring on a monthly basis. And those results have shown that there has been an increase in water quality in relation to bacterial contamination. And also with the nutrients, we get it looking at our 5 and 7 year long-term trends. They both show that there has been an improvement in nutrient levels. Without farmer involvement, we wouldn't be able to get in the situation where we are. We're at the Rai Falls here, and this is one of our regular monitoring sites. We also carry out macroinvertebrate monitoring and fish surveys using electric fishing on an annual basis. The fish survey is really just about seeing what is in here and is the species composition changing over time. Just getting an idea of what species are utilising the waterway. The impact that land use has on fish populations is in relation to the levels of algae that are in the waterway, and also the amount of nutrients in there that are causing massive changes in dissolved oxygen. Fluctuations in dissolved oxygen are a real issue for fish. Sediment in the river causes an issue for fish populations due to the filling up of the interstitial spaces between the rocks, and that's the places where the invertebrates hide and get out of the way from predators, etc. And when those are all blocked up, you don't have lots of different places for them to live. It's sort of more of a homogeneous surface, and there's just a lot less habitat available for them. It's really good to see bullies of reasonable numbers through here, and showing in the net we also get invertebrates, so there is certainly habitat available for them here today. Well, macroinvertebrates are a way that we look at what the overall water quality is on a river. If we take a water sample, it's only really a sample of that very point in time, but what happens 10 minutes prior or 10 minutes after, we don't really know. Whereas macroinvertebrates are the invertebrates and animals that are living in the water the whole time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so they give an overall reflection of the total water quality over long periods of time. And all of the different species have all been given a ranking score on their tolerance to pollution. So some species you will find in pristine clear water, but nowhere else, and other ones you'll find right through the whole range. So by looking at the different range of species we have in the waterway, it gives an indication of what the water quality is. There certainly has been a little bit of improvement through with the macroinvertebrates, and that again relates to the nutrient inputs, to the algal growth over time. In today's sample at the Rai here, we can see that we've got 2 species of mayfly, Delatidium and Coliboriscus, And we can also see that we have the Dobson fly larvae, or commonly known as a toe biter. All these species are sort of medium water quality species, which is typical what we'd expect to find in a waterway such as this. If people want to look at the water qualities like in their region, they can go to the LAWA website. Marlborough District Council and other councils, data automatically feeds up into the LAWA website, and so that can be seen. The latest information that arrives at the council is freely available on the website for the general public as well.
In terms of the project here, our farmers have been really open and wanting to be seen as doing the right thing, and I think that's a really important thread. Quite often Fish and Game and farmers are at loggerheads, and in this catchment here it was a little bit tricky to start with, but Rhys Barrier, our local representative, the farmers really like him, and so that's opened the door. That relationship has been really important to opening the door to having this happen. Farmers are really busy turning grass into milk. They've got a business to run. Planting doesn't bring in the money to pay the bills. Also, it takes time for them to understand that this is actually good business, that the plantings will add value to their property, and that the plantings will improve their marketing ability of Fonterra in the international scene. So it is a slow journey carrying these things out, but we're on that journey, and my role is to try and support the farmers where they're actually too exhausted or haven't got time or funding to do it. There's a lot of people in cities and businesses who are happy to contribute, and it's about matching those two parties together.
Under the Sustainable Dairying Water Accord, where the industry is committed to rolling out riparian planting plans for our farmers. So this catchment we're using as a pilot at the moment to see how we can roll it out throughout the rest of the country. The idea is that Fonterra in every region has got a sustainable dairying advisor like myself, and that's our full-time role, is to go on farm and actually help them develop the plan. And then Fonterra also wants to create partnership across the countries with catchment groups like this to support them to be able to offer farms plants in a way that is cheap and affordable. I think what the Rai catchment shows is a collaborative approach that really works. So it's Landcare Trust, private farmers, Fish and Game, Fonterra, everybody working together and just making it happen. So that's what we'd like to see across the country.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.